basically in '07, we set aside 3 wines. So the first wine is our Raringi Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
And what happened in '07, a batch of this came into the winery off this site, and it was so uniquely different. We just said, shit, we just can't blend this away into Wither Hills.
Yep.
Some of it did go in, and it's now the site is a major part of that Wither Hills blend.
Right. Okay.
And we thought, well, we need to bottle some off. So in '07 we bottled about 500 6-packs, and I went to London and we gave all that to Wine Society in London. So the wine buyer absolutely loved it.
Wow.
Very unique, quite different style of Marlborough Sauvignon. And then from '08 onwards, we're just slowly introducing it to the market. So it's
pretty difficult time to introduce a new level of wine to the market.
Well, it was great in '07 because in '08 that crisis hadn't occurred. It was May, not September.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's a bit of turmoil with '08, '09. But
yeah.
I think from '09 we've really started to just hit our straps. And I think too the evolution of the Wither Hills brand with Wither Hills in grocery.
Yeah.
This has really set itself apart for on premise only and fine wine.
So you're still shipping a lot of this across the UK?
A little bit, yeah, still goes across there for the same reasons,
yeah.
and a little bit into Australia as well. So Raringi site, old seabed. To me, it gives you that real. Sometimes I get that even fennel, coriander, and lemongrass on the nose. A little bit of the white asparagus showing with a bit of bottle age. But to me, it's the palate I really work on here, and it's all about that persistence and length and crunchy acidity, rather like the Riesling you just tried.
Which is, I'm getting that similar characteristic right now.
Yeah, and you're chewing it, so you got post taste. There's some chewiness. So it's got a really beautiful long palate. Yeah,
it has. But it has, for me, it's got that coriander seed.
Yes. Yeah.
Rather than the actual leaf.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just a hint of that kind of a white asparagus.
Yeah, it's not. It hasn't bloomed. No, but it's just pushing that far.
Yeah,
there's not too much nettles. Sometimes you might get red tomato, but that's about it. It's very pure, very mineral. Sometimes sea salt, oyster shell. But for me, it's more the palate that stands itself out. And I don't know what it is. I think perhaps it's this. There's no topsoil there. All that flooding was missed that corner. So that on the main valley floor, in the Wairau Valley, like you're saying earlier, you do get the guava and the tropical and that. But here you don't get it, and this tends to hold even ages really well. Like the '07's drinking absolutely marvellously, and almost that sort of. It's just slowly getting into that little bit of cut hay,
Because that's so often been my criticism. I say criticism. Often compliment as well, that New Zealand we tend to drink our Sauvignon far too young, in a majority of the case, and that we don't really give it time or any chance to age to see what it can develop into, and let the public see what it can develop into. When I went across to the UK, they were still drinking '08, '09 New Zealand Sauvignon because it's just the way that they are.
It's a cycle.
Because it's a cycle, and it's a psychological, mental thing because they harvest in the autumn. And then in the Northern Hemisphere, that's October.
Yeah.
And then they go flip over to a new year before it's released. So you're always thinking that mentally you're a year behind.
Yeah.
And so drinking a wine that's a couple, 2-3 years isn't out of the
bad
norm.
The other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I suppose here we all want it made, bottled, released,
ready for Christmas.
Ready for
summer, for Christmas.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the UK can wait through to that springtime. Can't
Absolutely.
It? Yeah. No, totally. I mean, I find that in the States as well. I've almost made almost trying to make conscious decisions to deliver to America the new vintage in the new year. So because obviously over there they struggle with the same thing you just described. And it gives the wine time. I mean, this year we don't release. This is 2010, so that's released in February of 10.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So it has an extra 6.
February of 11.
February of 11. So it gives it an extra time.
Yeah.
Gives it some suppleness, and I think it ages better. You can see it better in the bottle too.
Yeah. That I got to say, it's very smart.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
What's the retail on that?
That there is about retail is around $22.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. 2022, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the Pinots.
Yep. You beauty.
Yeah. 2 single vineyard Ben Morven.
Yep, in Taylor River. So, as I said before, these are the 2 vineyards that go into our Wither Hills Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
The Ben Morven is basically 100% clay based.
Right. Okay.
And I think delivers all that lovely, you know, not that it's yin and yang or masculine or feminine, but this is the sort of the feminine slant of what Pinot can be.
And I do think that there is a male-female aspect to Pinot Noir.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, to me, this is it's sexy. It's not voluptuous, but it's really sort of a very perfumed wine.
Yeah.
To me, this one here is one you can sit back and sniff for 20 minutes even before you taste it.
Yeah.
You know, it's got all that sort of smokiness and 1920s sort of about it. You know, flapper dresses and that type of thing.
It's got a really nice nose.
Yeah.
Very attractive. Really pretty.
Yeah. It's we talked about spice and cherry before. This is actually more. It's more that it's sort of accentuated more, and I think the great thing out of this site is, you know how everyone talks about layers and texture on the palate. This has it on the nose. You get high notes on your nose, and then it layers down on the aromatics as well.
And I mean, this is out of a pretty poor glass. Yeah,
true. Yeah. It's certainly not.
And it's not shy and retiring on that aromatic front.
No, it's good. So it's 07. So 07's the first release. And so the whole aim here too, rather like the Sauvignon, 18 months in oak, but then 2 years in bottle. We'll do the work for you to let it to age it. Because I think to your Sauvignon Blanc comment, you could say the same about Pinot. It'd be great to see Pinots.
Yep.
18 months, 2 years with bottle age. Because I think they really start developing that smokiness, or what you would call, what we tend to call Burgundian sort of characters, even though we're not in Burgundy. And it's soft and silky, and it has chewiness. It doesn't have the dominant black plum tannin profile that we see from
it is silk. Really silky, smooth. This is for me. This would be a wine that I'd give to someone who really likes Central Otago, and I'd give it to them blind.
Yeah.
Not the Bannockburn where you get that really dense, syrupy character, but something kind of up near Wanaka, maybe kind of Gippsland Valley.
A bit more sinewy.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. Because it's delicate, it's floral, and silky. And it's not just a one-trick pony, which is just all about the primary fruit.
No. So, and that was pretty important for us when we. I mean, 07, if you look back, was a stunning year for Pinot.
Yeah.
Across the whole country. So, it was a great year to kick off on. But I could just sit on that.
Which is quite attractive.
Yeah. Just get hedonistic with it, with the aromas.
And then Taylor's
and Taylor River. Yep. So the great thing about these, the great interest for me is these vineyards are 500 metres apart, and in between there's like a grassy knoll, but like Dallas, and it's and that's the only thing really dividing it. So on the eastern side of this little knoll is the Taylor River, and it's a tributary southwest river that runs into the Wairau Valley proper. And so you've got a mix of loam, silt, and river stone. And closer to where the river proper is, it just gets a bit stonier, So you've got that real mix of soils, whereas the Ben Morven over the little hill is 100% clay and it's just total erosional wash.
Right, okay.
And the Ben Morven's sheltered from that easterly that comes off the coastline. And that easterly is one of the major things that moderates that Wairau Valley, and that's why we make fantastic aromatics. From a temperature point of view. So we get that lovely bright silky reds from slightly warmer, slightly cooler at night at Ben Morven. Taylor River's the difference in temperature at night and day is a bit different, a bit closer together. And to me you get a real more brooding, masculine, darker.
Which is what I'm getting from this, which I'm going to take my comment back about kind of introducing someone to Marlborough Pinot if they like Central Otago. because this is, like for me, it is that broody,
Yeah.
quite shy but quite masculine
Yeah.
Pinot.
He's not Arnie. He's not, you know. You're all flinny, sort of, with a bit of muscle, but
yeah,
you know, he's certainly it's robust, but it's not clunky. You know, so it's masculine, but it's there's darker fruits involved and more. To me, the word brooding I use more for those darker forest fruits. You know, the boys and bread and the darker plum.
and the tannin structure is different.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Which is what I'm getting now.
Yeah, lot more chewier.
Yeah.
And there's a bit more oak in the Taylor River because I think
Can
the
carry it.
fruit can soak it up and carry it. There's a bit more when we're really trying real hard on them.
Because that Ben Melbourne is just silky smooth.
Yeah. There's more, I suppose. Whereas Taylor River's a combination of those darker fruit tannins and oak. Ben Melbourne's probably more silkier fruit tannins and a little bit of oak.
Yeah.
In the makeup.
Which is quite surprised because a few years ago I would have written off Wither Hills as a Pinot maker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's quite nice to give it some credit where credit's
look.
due. Yeah. Because it's so easy to kind of overlook, kind of like having been a wine shop owner.
Yeah.
And kind of you're just faced with all the boutique brands to remain competitive.
Yeah.
And then you go to the supermarket and you see Wither Hills, just the standard Wither Hills. You don't really give them too much of a second thought and view.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, look, as a brand, it's a big challenge, and it's a bit like, you know, you look at maturing of brands or wine companies or aging of wine companies. You know, Wither Hills is 15 years old. You could say, so it's gone through its youthful growth period, and we're into that sort of difficult adolescence and coming into its teenage years.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously how you market or approach wine has to change and where it's being sold or delivered.
Also, the landscape's changed quite a lot over the last few years.
Yeah, so you need to be pretty
nimble and
nimble.
agile.
Yeah.
In direct.
Yeah.
Your direction. Yeah, and I've got to say that credit where credit's due. Those two Pinots and this Sauvignon are fantastic.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah.
I'm especially liking the Ben Morvan.
Yeah, I like showing those and our Wither Hills because obviously the blend goes together.
Yeah.
But you know, you'd never pick Pinot Noir drinkers. You know, I'll think, oh, you're a Taylor River drinker, and you'll totally blow me out of the water and go, no, I like Pinot Noir. And then someone that looks, you know, not camp, but you know, goes, oh, you're a Ben Morvan guy, and he goes, no, Taylor River for me. You know, so and I'm quite happy if they argue all night about the two wines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you very, very much for showing
Not a problem.
us.
No, brilliant.
And we'll catch you next time on Wine Vault TV.